Hello, 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 and welcome back. It's me again, and I want to share another story and maybe even send a word of encouragement. So today is the 17th of January of 2024, and for me, this marks a 3-year anniversary of an event, very, very important event. That changed the trajectory of my life forever. So on the 17th of January of 2021, I I died. I died. A lot of series of things that had been happening in my life. I was extremely sick. Nobody knew what I was sick from. No specialist could figure it out. Uh, Eventually just had a surgery, which later on turned out to be unnecessary. But anyway, nobody could just figure it out. But anyway, I died at the hospital that day, 17th of January 2021. And yeah, so, let me just maybe just give you even just a little bit of a brief about it. That I had surgery on that day, and according to the doctors and nurses, everything had gone well, and except now after the surgery, even the doctor had actually left, but the nurse who was kind of looking after me and sending me back to when she was moving me from one spot now taking me back to the recovery room, realized I actually was no more. I was just not there. I was no longer responding. They had to call everybody back into theater. Hectic, they had to do a lot of things, had to do reversals. Anyway, when the doctor finally, then obviously, for me, when I wake up, all I remember was before and then after. And everybody was just, just all the nurses were coming around me, say, you know what, you almost showed us flames, like what were you trying to do? And they now relay all this whole story. And when the doctor finally saw me now, I think it was the next day, the first thing he said to me was, you prayed, right? Or you pray, like you are a prayerful person. And I thought, yeah, I did pray before the surgery, because he was like, well, even he was shocked just of how the turn of events happened. And but he just said, you know what, it was really touch and go, and he couldn't figure it. Like, it was just surprising to everybody. And as he said, but it was touch and go, but eventually this everything stabilized, and now here I was, obviously talking to him. I was still alive. I was alive. But it was quite a thing to understand later, that when the first thing he said to me was, you pray, right? And to tell you that that doctor was just so shocked and stunned about my case that he didn't even bother. Like, he never even wanted his payment. Because it was just so strange to him as to how things happened. And he obviously realized that this was just beyond his intellect, is beyond kind of physical circumstances. So over time, I've had to then understand a lot of things, that life is spiritual. Life is spiritual. So if you've ever had or encountered anybody who's had a near-death experience, or maybe who's died, came back, um, you'll realize certain things about them, and that includes major changes, in their life, in their character, just in everything. It's almost like they have become a new person, uh, because maybe a couple of things have happened to them. Certain things have been revealed to them. They have been taken in different realms of reality that others have not yet seen. They have seen certain things, and therefore their second chance or their third chance. They can never do things the same again. And what I can tell you from my experience is that God is real. God is real. God is real. And when Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, it's true. It just is what it is. Everything that God has told us, everything that is in His Word is written. It is to the core, 100% correct. And true. God is who He says He is. And Jesus is who He says He is. And that, and that heaven and hell exist, and that the sheep will be separated from the goats. Because in the spirit there is no, when God says, either you are with me, if you're not with me, then it means you are against me. As much as we have a lot of philosophies and beliefs and things of our own, but those are just our own things on earth. But at the end, when you make that transition, you'll soon find out that there's just two ways, for or against. So you'll be going this side or you'll be going this side, and that maybe the chance you had while you were on earth, you did not use it wisely. You did not make the right choices to take you to the right side. So God is true. God is real. He's true. He is real. And it is where He says when He made men, when He made humans, He breathed His life into us. This very breath that I breathe now is given to me by Him. Hence He could breathe into me for me to live again, give me another chance. Because trust me, had I not woken up on that day, 2021, I was certainly not going to end up on the right side. I was certainly not going to spend eternity the right way. So I had to come back and make changes. And so I do not take sin lightly. Never take sin lightly. It's fine. People can do things. If God says, don't do this, it's just what it is. Don't do it. Don't try and come with your intellect. Don't try and justify because everybody's doing it. The world is doing it. Everybody's doing it. But look at this one. But these ones, they do it and they get away with it. That's just not how it works. Everybody is, your relationship is personal. It's a one-on-one. Your salvation journey is personal. It's one-on-one. And it's all, you've got the books about your life. Everything is written. So I'll keep saying to you, there's nothing that you can hide. There's no hiding place. There's nothing that you can think, do, act that is hidden in the spirit. There's no such thing. Hence, everybody has their own books with everything that you've done, deeds, thoughts, everything. It's just it's in your records. It's in your records. Hence, there's no hiding or lying in the spirit. So if you've broken rules and now you're ending up in front of the judge, what you gonna say for yourself? Was what you were doing, was it worth it? If you are now landing up on the wrong side because hell is real, was it worth it? And I can tell you that breaking the laws of God, nothing is worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Whether you are encouraged by friends, whether you are encouraged by what you see by how people are doing things versus how God says you must do things, there's nothing worth it to be separated from the love of God. Nothing is worth it to be separated from the love of God. No, if anything removes you away from God's rules and precepts, most likely you are buying your first class ticket to hell. You just don't know it because you are still here on earth. Maybe you haven't experienced certain things and you think, there's nothing wrong with doing A, B, C, and D. You take fornication lightly, you take promiscuity lightly, you take idolatry, lightly, that you have your own gods you serve. You take those things lightly because your breath has not been snatched away from you. And you don't know, maybe when it does, you don't know if you'll get a second chance to get it right. Because what you are here on earth to do is to get it right. You've only got this chance to get it right. Because the principles and the precepts that have been set, even for salvation, are for you while you are working in your flesh and blood, while you are here on earth, to fulfill the purpose and the prophecies. As the word of God says, it says that his word, heaven and earth will pass away. Everything can pass away. He says even the jot of a pen, but his word, it will last. It lasts because it is eternal, and it is the most truest thing out of everything. It is the most truest thing. Is there such a word, truest? Okay. It's true. That you feel that you need to do a self-check, revise, safe check of your life. So I'd encourage that you really check in with yourself, how you live. Are you living to how you're supposed to live? Or are you living according to the desires of your heart and your opinions from what the world has taught you, which is a temporary world, as any of us can be snatched away at any moment, at any time. So truly, my encouragement to you is work on your relationship with God for you, and also not just for you, for your children, for generations to come, because your walk affects everything. It affects everybody. Those will come after you, they will either be doomed or they will be blessed based on your walk and your actions and your right standing with God. As I say, nothing is worth it that will separate you from the love of God. If God says this is wrong, it is wrong. There's no justifying. There's no, but now we are in the we are in the modern century. We are, look at us, we can fly around. We've got computers. Nothing is new under the sun. That word that he said from the very beginning still rings true today for everyone. So accept that Jesus Christ is the Lord, and that he died for us